Welcome back, and thanks for tuning in to episode 24 of LabPadre, SpaceX, and Starbase weekly updates. We got some great info for you today, so let's dig in. With fabrication work effectively complete, Starship 25's payload bay barrel section has moved to the staging area in front of High Bay. Overnight, some work was performed on the top of ground support equipment Tank 8 at the propellant farm. At the Cape, Doug returned to Port Canaveral with both fairing halves after the launch of the Starlink 4-26 mission. In Boca Chica, the transport stand was brought to the launch mount in preparation for bringing Booster 7 back to the build site. Meanwhile, Starship 25's payload bay section was moved into the high bay for vehicle assembly. At the launch site, the booster quick disconnect was retracted ahead of Booster 7's lift off the orbital launch mount. Starship 25's assembly continued with the installation of the downcomer. This pipe transports methane fuel through the oxygen tank to the engines. Also fully fabricated, Ship 25's nose cone was moved onto the transport stand ahead of its own move to the high bay. After arriving at the build site, Booster 7 was moved into the mega bay for installation of its 13 center engines and the accompanying thermal shielding. Overnight into the early morning hours on Saturday, Ship 25's nose cone was ultimately moved into the high bay. On Sunday morning, Booster 1073 arrived at Port Canaveral after the successful launch of the Starlink 4-26 mission. Forms for a new concrete wall were being put together at the Boca Chica launch site, which will protect the tanks from booster exhaust. New pistons for the Chopsticks are also being added, which will provide cushioning for the boosters as they come in for a catch landing. Monday evening in Florida, our friends at Spaceflight Now were live for the latest launch tower section move as the 7th module was moved from the Roberts Road facility to Launch Complex 39A. The Crosby Skipper and the short Fall of Gravitas left Port Canaveral ahead of the Starlink 4-27, which launched on the 19th. Crews were working on the methane side of the Orbital Tank Farm. For safety, the equipment is divided to handle the propellant separately. On Tuesday, the Falcon 9 fairings were unloaded from Doug using a new lifting method with just 2 attachment points. As work on the propellant handling infrastructure wrapped up at the Orbital Tank Farm, the methane pump was reinstalled. After that, the methane pump motor, a separate assembly from the working parts, was also reinstalled. Chopstick work continued at the launch tower with the new hardware being installed to aid and support any attempted super heavy catches. Tuesday evening in Florida brought the much anticipated rollout of NASA's Space Launch System Artemis 1 rocket. After a short delay due to weather, the rocket began its slow crawl to Launch Complex 39B to await its launch date currently scheduled for August 29th. Just after midnight on Wednesday, Ship 25's newly mated nose cone and payload sections were lifted off the turntable in High Bay. Later that day, a new SpaceX branded long-reach boom lift arrived at the launch site and was followed shortly by a Raptor truck. Ironworkers began modifying the orbital launch tower's bracing elements, adding new support pieces and welding the bracing plates which had previously been just bolted together. On Thursday, an SPMT moved the old Raptor maintenance platform from the former landing pad to near Test Stand A for storage. That afternoon, the Chopsticks underwent some testing, likely to not only verify the recent repair, but to also feel out the recent upgrades. Also this week, we are happy to bring you new flyover photos from Cape Canaveral thanks to our eye in the sky, Greg Scott. As shown previously, NASA rolled out its SLS rocket back to Launch Complex 39B. This latest trip to the launch site for this rocket should be the last, as its Artemis 1 mission is currently scheduled to launch on August 29th. If this launch is successful, SLS will become the most powerful rocket to reach orbit, at least until Starship becomes operational. Just to the south at LC-39A, SpaceX continues work on the pad's new Starship infrastructure, even as the pad remains an active Falcon 9 launch site. The Falcon 9 transporter erector still sits at the base of the Falcon 9 tower after last week's Starlink launch. Nearby, the Starship launch tower has had 6 modules installed with a 7th and final full-height module waiting nearby. The Buckner LR-11-350 crane was briefly laid down for a quick reconfiguration this week to lengthen its leveling jib in preparation for lifting the 7th module. Work continues on the new water tank between the 2 launch towers, and the new forms around the base indicate a concrete wall will surround the steel support columns. Around 6 miles to the southwest, rapid progress continues at SpaceX's facilities on Roberts Road. Work seems to be largely complete on the Hangar X expansion, as the final access openings in the building have been sealed. Over on the Starship side of the facility, additional progress can be seen with the chopsticks as the landing beams have been added. Workers can also be seen working on the adjacent carriage section while the QD arm sits nearby, possibly awaiting the installation of piping and conduit. The steel for the 8th and 9th modules of the launch tower appear to be largely complete. The 9th module, however, is still awaiting the crown block and pulleys needed to run the chopsticks lifting cable. It also appears that workers have begun installing the jib bases back onto the concrete pads. Could this be a sign that assembly of another tower will begin in the near future? Let us know what you think in the comments. On the southwest corner of the lot, construction of the Roberts Road Star Factory continues at a stunningly quick pace. While crews are busy assembling the steel for the middle third of the building, more than half the steel on the first third has already been painted and roofing and siding are being installed. On the southern third of the building, crews are working to finish the underground conduit banks and foundations as a concrete slab is working its way towards them. The foundations on this end of the building will likely need to be a little more substantial, as this end of the building is supposed to be taller than the rest. Foundation work for the first of the Florida megabays appears to be complete, and the interior grade has been brought up to match the elevation of the foundation. One noticeable difference between this foundation and the one in Boca Chica is the addition of 2 pits in the back corners of the foundations, which are possibly pits for future elevators. Next to the Mega Bay, Buckner crews have begun assembling a brand new Libra LR-11000 crane. This crane seems to have the same paint scheme as the SpaceX LR-11000 at Starbase, including the logos on the treads. Unlike the Texas crane, however, this crane also has Buckner's branding on it, which may indicate a different arrangement between SpaceX and Buckner with the new crane. Moving over to the Cape Canaveral Blue Origin facilities, we can see that steelwork has finally begun on the new expansion of the building on the southeast corner of the site. Just to the west of the warehouse, additional ground clearing is underway as Blue Origin prepares for additional expansion of their facility. Construction continues on the new 2CAT building, which we can see the large steel structure that was on the ground in previous flyovers has now been installed on the right side of the doorway. And while all seemed quiet at Blue Origin's LC-36 during the flyover, New Glen's transporter erector was raised to vertical for the first time on Friday. We're also treated to a flyby of the Cape Canaveral shuttle landing facility. Next to the 15,000-foot runway is a display of a mock-up of the space shuttle. At the south end of the runway, groundwork is underway in preparation for new facilities to be built. Wrapping up this week's episode is a quick tour of SpaceX's port-side activities. Autonomous drone ship Just Read the Instructions sits at Port Canaveral docks awaiting its next mission. Nearby, Dragon recovery vessel Megan sits ready and has since left port in support of the return of the cargo Dragon from the CRS-25 mission. And finally, not one, but 2 Falcon 9 boosters sit on the docks awaiting transport to the refurbishment facilities as SpaceX's record launch cadence continues. And there you have it, another SpaceX and Starbase weekly update with a splash of Blue Origin, brought to you by LabPadre. Make sure you subscribe and hit the alert bell for new video and live stream notifications. We'll see you next week, and thanks for watching. LabPadre out.